about halfway between Youngstown and Newcastle, just off of 422. I would like to introduce to you our Director of Land Management, John Moreira. Hi, John.
Hello, sister.
And we would like to talk to you about our Harvest Day celebration. But first of all, I would like to introduce Sister Toby Lardy, the pastoral leader of the Sisters of the Humility of Mary.
Hello, my name is Sister Toby Lardy. I serve as the pastoral leader for the Sisters of the Humility Mary here at Villa Moreira, Pennsylvania. I'd like to welcome you to the sacred grounds of Villa Moreira and this new kind of Harvest Day. Actually, is a harvest celebration unlike any that we've ever had. And so, welcome to this time together. I'd like to talk just for a few minutes about what it was like probably when those first sisters came here. So it takes us back 156 years to France, where the sisters in 1864 had decided to come here to the United States to serve. At that time, Sister Madeleine Potier got sick, and they prayed, stormed heaven, that she would recover, but unfortunately she did not. So I can't imagine, first of all, what it was like for those sisters to board the ship, leaving not only their country, but their beloved foundress behind, as they came here and ended up at Villa Moreira, Pennsylvania. The hopes and dreams that they would have shared before her death were probably quite different when they came on that ship, and then when they arrived here at Villa Moreira to find a swampland and to know that their lives were changing in a very big way. But working together with friends, with neighbors, with other farmers, they learned how to till the land and to make bricks and to settle here at Villa Moreira. All that time, it had to be God whispering in the hearts of each one of them, this is the way, follow in it. So here I am today in 2020, welcoming you to Villa Moreira, standing at the same time in a world of tremendous need, as we know from the news. And so the sisters who met the needs that were around them here at the villa in the beginning, that's also been our theme as we go forward, meeting the needs of those most in need. And how we do that is very much rooted in our land. The Sisters of the Humility of Mary have a mission to bring more abundant life, especially to those who are poor. And we know throughout all these years that there have been different ways to answer needs. Our theme as sisters this year is now is filled with hope and promise. And as I reflected on it, I realized that every spring here on the farm, it's filled with hope and promise for what the season will bring. And then at harvest time is a celebration of that promise fulfilled as we celebrate the fruits of the land. So our call is very much rooted in this land where I'm standing today. And we know that we've been gifted. And with any gifts come responsibility to care for the land, to protect it, and to leave it better than we found it for the next generation. And so today, we're just so happy that we get to share this land and this hope and promise with you, our friends. So let's go and check out what this Harvest Day celebration holds for all of us. Thank you.
Now, Sister Toby had mentioned that when the sisters came here from France, that they needed all sorts of help to be able to make this go, because they were women that actually came from a small village in France that were teachers, and they come out here to this land and they have to grow their own food, and they have to, of course, try to do the best that they can with what they had to work with. But the first crop that they planted were potatoes, and of course it failed. So with the help of neighbors and farmers in the area and other friends who taught them how to plant and how to grow food here at Villa Moreira, they were able to make go of it. And then one thing led to another, and then of course we ended up with this gorgeous farm that has been thriving for over 150 years. And so, John, do we still plant potatoes?
Oh, we certainly do. Grown them all 15 years I've been here and way before that. Currently we grow Yukon Golds, we have white Katahdins, and as well as some red potatoes. We have about an acre of them that we grow in the back.
And what happens with these potatoes, John?
Potatoes, they're given away. It's one of our primary food donation products that we give away to various agencies between Newcastle and Youngstown and Sharon. And also a portion of them go down to the Villa Kitchen, as well as they're given out as part of our CSA membership, as well as in the market itself to the open public.
And of course, all of these years, you know, that the sisters have had this farm, they originally did all the work. And then, of course, they've started to hire lay folks to come and help them do this. And that's when they actually began the harvest festival, so to speak, because what they would do they would invite all of their helpers as well as the local farmers to come with their families and have a big banquet from the produce that was grown here at Villa Maria. But it wasn't until 1999, when Frank Romeo was the director of land management, that he and Sister Barbara O'Donnell, who was the director of Evergreen, that was an eco-spirituality center, came together and made it an official get-together. And so Harvest Day was born from those very simple roots of just gathering vegetables together and having a big pot of soup made, and then of course inviting volunteers that had participated in the growing season. And of course from there, when Evergreen actually went into Villa Maria Education and Spirituality Center, Frank didn't feel that he could carry it on by himself. And so then that's when the community center stepped in, and it became Harvest Day that we know of it today. And of course, this is our 21st year, and we would normally have tents and people and food and all kinds of fun things happening. However, this year things are different. And so let's take a little tour. And where are we going now, John?
Wherever you'd like to, sister.
Now here we are at our big barn. When the sisters first came here in 1864, there were several structures here on the villa property. However, the one that is really outstanding is our big barn. And John is here to tell you about our barn.
Yeah, barns like this are becoming rare and rare. Most barns that have been built, like a typical bank barn, that's what this is, have been torn down over the last century and a half. They're replaced by metal buildings. So in some ways, any barn that's still from that time period, and as far as we know, this is built in 1840, are becoming rarer and rarer, and I like to think of them almost as a museum piece at this point. However, this barn is still being used as a barn. It's gone through several different reincarnations. It was used as a dairy for a long time. There was access with pigs and chickens. Currently, it's a steer barn. We raise beef cattle, and they live in here, as well as we store all the food that they would use, including hay and grains of various sorts, in that barn. The timbers that were originally part of the structure were taken from the forests here at the Villa Maria. They were what they call heartwood. That's the center of old growth forest trees. The trees themselves were over 5 to 6 feet in diameter, and this very center of it is the most compressed and the hardest of the woods. They were used for the big timber that's in that barn that's holding it up. For the most part, that was white oak as well as tulip poplar. At this point, after being aged for 180 years, if you were to try to put 10 nails into that barn wood, you might get one in. It's so hard. That barn, and most barns that are built like this, have a lifespan of 1,000 years if they're properly sided and roofed. At this point, it's the oldest structure on the Villa campus. It was here when the sisters came, and it's the only one that's still here.
And here we are now in our greenhouse, and I have Richard Graney with me, who is our greenhouse operator, and he's going to tell you about what happens here in the greenhouse and beyond. Richard?
Well, thank you, sister. This greenhouse is pretty much a year-round operation. It's hard to say where it starts and where it stops, but come 1st of January, when all the poinsettias are out of the greenhouse, we start seeding plants for our spring season. A lot of the plants, bedding plants, and plants for hanging baskets, geraniums, we start seeding through January because they'll take the longest to be ready. Usually come March or so, we start doing some vegetables. We grow our vegetables and herbs naturally. John's been working diligently to get us organically certified, but we've always just grown them naturally without any artificial chemicals or fertilizers. Early to mid-April, depending on the season, a lot of our early cold weather crops, our greens, things like kohlrabi, things like that, we start planting in our high tunnels. Come May or so, middle of May, things start going outside into the gardens and the fields, zucchinis, yellow squash, things like that. And then the process goes into things like winter squashes like butternut and acorn squash are planted outside, and then finally pumpkins. From there, I have about a 2-week period of time to get the greenhouse cleaned up. Mums, usually we grow mums. They usually come in mid-June. They're planted outside and grown outside. The poinsettias come in mid-July, and they come in as a little cutting. You can't grow them by seed. There's certain plants like chrysanthemums, poinsettias, and some other things. They're patented plants. Okay, so they're intellectual property of the growers. So you have to buy the cuttings off them, and so then we start sticking the cutting. Sticking a cutting basically just means planting. That's a term that people. From there, we grow these out by end of October or so. Our mums are done. We start battening the hatches down to get ready for winter. We have an outside wood burner that we use to heat our greenhouse during the cold months of late fall and winter and early spring. We take advantage of our hundreds of acres of woodlots to find down trees and things like that, and we use that for fuel. Our Easter lilies come in, and we plant, we got to pot up the Easter lilies, and we also grow tulips, daffodils, hyacinths for the Easter season. And then the cycle is just repeated once we get everything cleaned out. It's pretty much a year, it's in use year round.
How many poinsettias do you have right now, and are they all one kind, or do you have different kinds?
Right now, I have 900 in here. We grow 4 varieties. Of course, the red variety is the most popular by far, but we also grow a white variety, which is probably the second most popular. And then we have a pink variety that's become more and more popular just in the past several years. We've been selling more pinks. And then we have a novelty variety called Monet. it's a smaller, more what they call a tabletop variety, and it's a mixture. Each one is unique. They're kind of a creamy pink, a little bit of streaks of red. So even though it's the same variety, you put two side by side and they're not the same. But like I said, the red is by far, especially with churches and things like that, they're the most popular.
And that's where most of them go, to churches, is that correct?
Probably the majority of them go to churches. The past several years, we've seen an uptake of individual sales going on, people just coming, buying them for gifts and things like that. You go to grandma's house, you're going to take her a poinsettia.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Richard, very much for all of your information. And, of course, I learned a few things that I didn't know about. So good luck with your poinsettia crop, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, sister.
Now, John, for years we have been growing vegetables naturally.
Correct.
However, now you are in the process of getting organic certification. Could you please talk about what that means?
Well, as you said, we've been growing vegetables naturally for at least the past 15 years in an organic fashion, but you can't use the term organic when you're talking about that, because that is legally, you just can't do that. However, about 4 years ago, we made the decision on farm to become organically certified, and that process entailed a 3-year transition. So for the past 3 years, we've been growing things in an organic fashion, which is much the same as we've always grown them in our gardens, but we've also incorporated that into our field crops. We grew approximately 250 acres of field crops, and they had been what we would call low input in past, but now for the last 3 years they've been grown organically as well. This having been the 3rd year, we then could apply for organic certification officially. So for most of the summer, I've spent working on the certification process, and they've now at this point received 650 pages of documentation from me, going clear back through to 2016 in the case of some of our fall crops. Thankfully, I had most of the documents necessary, just had to find them, but I can tell you that it has been quite the process. It felt like working on a graduate thesis. Very hopeful that we get a positive notice here in the mail shortly. And again, this is not just for the gardens, it's also for our field crops. There's a huge demand for organic grains that is unmet. It's harder. I mean, we have to utilize some of the old methods that were done prior to 1950. They call 1950 the tipping point. That's where more farmers started growing things inorganically as opposed to organically. Prior to 1950, organic farming methods were the primary methods of farming, not only in this country, but throughout the world.
Okay, thanks so much for that, John. Now, for years, John, we have been collecting vegetable scraps as well as coffee grounds to bring out here to the farm. What happens with those?
Well, we utilize an old barrel, what they call a barrel manure spreader, that has chains in it that turns the manure, and if you rev it up high enough, it'll spit it out the side. Well, if you run that as an idle, you attach a tractor PTO to it, you run it as an idle, and it just turns it without throwing it out. So for several decades now, we've been taking compost table scraps from the kitchens here, as well as like you said, the coffee grinds, and we put it in this manure wagon. And after a bit, when it overflows or gets to be full, we take it back into Billy's field and put it on our manure piles that are from the barn. Now that's also used after a year's time. We spread those into our gardens. That's our primary nutrient source for our gardens. Now at that point, obviously, it's not manure anymore. It smells just like soil. It's full of red wiggler worms, which is a good indicator of where we are in that regard. Over the years, we've even spread some of it into some of our adjacent fields. Those two piles were they were spotted by the NRCS as far away from a water source and in high ground that it wouldn't affect any of the waters in our forests.
Okay, Very good, John. Now, you talked about going back to Billy's Field, and so we're going to ask Patsy Richards to tell us a little bit more about Billy's Field.
My name is Patsy Richards, and I'm a member of the Humility of Mary Associate Community. Today we are going to take you to a little-known area of Villa Moreira known as Billy's Field. Villa Moreira is holy ground, and every inch of the villa is filled with history and a story. In order to get to Billy's Field, one has to go to the farm and take the road out to the picnic pavilion. Beyond the picnic pavilion, you will find Billy's Field. Billy's Field is named in honor of Mr. William Murrin. Through a series of land acquisitions willed to Mr. Murrin by his uncle, the land was eventually known as Villa Moreira. In 1855, William Murrin donated the land to Bishop Michael O'Connor, then the Bishop of the Diocese of Pittsburgh. The purpose of the land donation was that it be used by the church to further the Catholic faith. In 1853, William Murrin purchased 100 acres of land and completed the 243 acres that the sisters would live on in 1864, and they eventually purchased in 1888. Mr. Murrin lived in a small cabin on the land. William Murrin died in 1875 after living the last 3 years of his life under the care of the sisters. He was strong and stubborn to the end, refusing to burden the sisters in any way. He helped them in any way he could, and they cared for him. The sisters had built him a small place to live, but he refused to live there, instead every day going back to his cabin in the woods. In the fall of 2008, Humility of Mary Associates planted daffodils on this field to honor Mr. Murrin's memory in the area where he lived. Since that time, every spring the daffodils come to life to commemorate his memory. William Murrin is buried in St. James Cemetery. About 10 years ago, the sisters planted daylilies at his tombstone. If you're out at the villa at any time, check out St. James Cemetery, and you will be able to find his tombstone. And if you want to take the road less traveled anytime that you're at the villa, try the road beyond the picnic pavilion, and you will come upon Billy's Field.
We've already talked about potatoes. We've talked about how things get started in the greenhouse and move on to the high tunnels and then into the gardens. Well, once all of the vegetables and the fruits are grown, what happens to those?
Well, we supply about 50% of the produce that we grow to area agencies that feed the poor and the less fortunate. So that's a big chunk of it. We also supply, to some extent, the villa kitchens. We have a farm market that's open to the public, and also we operate a CSA.
What's a CSA, John?
CSA it means community supported agriculture. And really what it is, a short answer to that is it's a subscription to our farm. Similar to how you would get a magazine subscription, you pay in advance, and for a year's time, you get a magazine once a month. Here in this case, you pay in advance, you sign a contract, and then you get produce for 18 weeks in a row. And that's whatever produce that's seasonal currently. So obviously you're not going to be getting tomatoes in June. You'll be getting tomatoes now. Things like that. It's all based on what we grow. We grow up to 100 different varieties of produce throughout the year. What's wonderful about a CSA is, one, there is actually a community that's born together by that. People are picking up at similar times. They get to know each other. One of the great things is seeing young children grow up into young adults, and families socialize with each other. Also a part of the CSA is that membership to the villa. They have access to our hiking trails. They have access to our picnic ground. And many people take advantage of that. There will be many CSA members that will come with a picnic basket and blanket and actually have a picnic back in the picnic area. But one of the great things about it is that allows a farm, a medium-sized farm, to have full value as far as getting retail value for their produce. When we first started, there was a significant amount of the produce being sold in a wholesale model. And obviously at our scale, we needed income, especially to support the fact that we give away 50% of our produce. And with the advent of the CSA, it became very easily done.
Right. And the CSA is also a good way to get good, nourishing, local foods as well. And that, locavores is what it's all about. John, you mentioned about timber from the forest. We still have a lot of trees. What happens to those trees? Because when the sisters came, of course, the railroad was being built through Lowellville, and Mother Anna, of course, had made a deal with the railroad people that the timber be used for the railroad ties, and she in turn would have the sisters take care of the old and infirmed and injured railroad workers. So what happens to the trees now?
Well, we have a forestry management plan that we've been following for some 20 years now. Originally, those were all old growth forests. Over the years, they have been cut. We worked with the Forest Service to come up with a forestry plan. But at this point, has been done is we've done some selective cutting, what I call eco cuts, throughout all 400 acres of the Villa forests. And what that means is a 5% cut that focuses on keeping the natural hardwoods that were always there. So we trim out trees, literally like weeding a garden. We trim out trees that are adjacent so that those hardwoods can thrive and flourish. Forests will naturally grow at 2 to 3% rate every year. If you do this kind of selective cutting, this type of eco cut, you'll get up to 4 to 5% growth rate instead. At this point in my 15 years, we've gone through all 400 acres, and we're at a point now where there's no need to cut anymore. We're letting the forest advance and grow on its own right
We
now.
also have other opportunities within the forest for, our wetland trails, our woodland trails. And so you want to talk a little bit about the trails and how that actually benefits us as well as the people that attend the programming at Villa Maria Education and Spirituality Center.
Sure. We have 72 acres of Audubon sanctuary here within our Villa forests. And in that sanctuary, we have one of our trails, which is called the Wetlands Trail. It's approximately a quarter mile. It's maintained by volunteers. Anybody who wants to be interested in helping us maintain the trails is more than happy to call me. In addition, we have a 1 mile trail that's further south that's called the Woodlands Trail. Both trails, when hiked together, combine for over 2 miles between there and coming back to the same spot here. There's a number of amateur naturalists that have worked here, maintaining trails as part of their volunteer hours that are necessary. People that attend the Villa Maria Education and Spirituality Center programs down at the old high school here have full access to these trails. Again, they run, like I said, about 2 miles, but it runs through about 150 acres of forests and some fields. Obviously, the wetland trails are going through a wetland, and so you get to see species of trees that would be only in wetlands. The other trail goes through more of a wooded highland, and there you'd have some of the finest forests that the sisters own. There's benches to stop and take breaks on. It's a nice afternoon to spend hiking on the trails. Don't you think, sister?
Yes, I do. And I know that a number of years ago, when Frank Romeo was retiring as the Director of Land Management, we actually dedicated that Woodland Trail to Frank Romeo. Tell us a little bit more about the Wetlands Trail, because another organization is very, very involved in that particular trail. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Are you talking about the naturals?
Yeah, the Audubon Society.
The Audubon Society has that particular sanctuary and that trail in their guidebooks. So if you have a Audubon Society Sanctuary book, this trail will be in it. Trail originally was founded by Sister Therese Pavlonis' brother. He donated some monies to make the trails and to maintain them. Very kind of him to do so.
Sisters have cared for the earth, this land of Villa Maria, since they arrived in 1864. To us, this is holy ground. Now, care for the earth is very important for all of us. We can all do something, since we take much more than we need. It is important for us to recycle. Cans, plastics, paper, cardboard, glass, even old clothes are recyclable. Equally important is to reuse or repurpose items. Let's see what Christine is working on.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I'm Christine from the Recycle Bin, and this is our virtual harvest day contribution. So today we're going to be making two different crafts. One is the cardboard critters, which are made out of recycled toilet paper tubes, and then scraps of construction paper, googly eyes, ribbon, anything you have at home you can use, markers, crayons, anything. Some of the examples we have here is a bunny, a pumpkin, a minion, a cat, a ninja turtle, and another cat because they're the best. And my friends here have been working on theirs, and they're going to show us theirs in a little bit. But the other craft we're going to work on right now is these magazine flowers made out of colorful pages out of magazines, pipe cleaners, and a recycled cleaned out glass bottle. So my assistant Sean is going to help me make one right now. So first, you're going to get magazines that have full page color pictures like these, and you just want to rip out pages that have the most color. Here you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And then we're just going to cut little strips out about half an inch or so, just big enough to be hole punched. So you're going to cut long strips out. So, and you want to make, have a variety of colors. So we have some turquoise ones, some orange ones, Sean will have some yellow ones. Okay, and then when you got one strip, get your strip. What you want to do is you want to fold it, double over the edges like that, so that they completely overlap. Okay, and then get your hole puncher, punch right in the middle. Okay, and then you take your pipe cleaner, and then put it through, one end through, and you make a little, just twist it, make a little knot kind of, so it doesn't fall off. So you've got one on there like that. Exactly. So then you just keep going. Here, let me use some of these. You just keep going until you get a whole bunch on there. And you want to stagger them a little bit. I'm going to do one more. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You can use whatever. That's the beauty of this, is you can use whatever you have at home. Okay? So then you've got petals like this. And you can add it to your jar and have a cute and colorful little arrangement. Okay. So do you guys want to show us what you've been working on with your critters?
I started on a bat. It's not finished yet.
You still have to add some wings. Excellent. And then we've got...
I need a glue for my butterfly's hair.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Happy Harvest Day.
Thanks, Christine, for sharing simple ways to reuse items for a fun kids activity. In this age of electronics, the simplicity of playing outside can help encourage creativity in children and adults alike. Tammy Iwanico and her daughter Makayla have a fun activity to share with us.
Hi, my name is Tammy Iwanico, and I work for the Sisters of the Humility of Mary, and this is my daughter, Makayla Golonka, and we're going to show you a fun activity to do with a pool noodle. So with summer coming, so what you're going to need first is, of course, a pool noodle.
We'll give you a second to get that.
And then we're going to need some googly eyes.
Second to get that.
You're going to need some string. And you're going to need construction paper cut with little fringes for the mane of the horse. So anyway, what we're going to do to get started is we're going to take our pool noodle and we're just going to bend it over like this. And that way we'll kind of know how big of a head that we're going to need. And this is the nose of the horse. So first off, with the Sharpie, you want to make nostrils so that your horse can breathe. So we're going to have Makayla show you how to put the nostrils on our pool noodle. So if you want to go ahead and just give them an idea. So we got the little nostrils on there. So the next thing we're going to want to do is put the googly eyes. And you know, in horses, they're kind of on the side of their head. So we're going to put one on each side. So we have a glue gun, and we're just going to put a little tiny bit of glue on the back of the googly eyes. But be very careful and have your parents help you with this because, okay? So we're going to go ahead and make sure you get all the little strings off, and we're going to put one here on this side of the horse, and then we're going to get another one. As you can see, he's looking at you there.
Oh, there's so much steam.
So now we need another one. Good, good, good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that right here on this side and press it on there. Okay. And make sure all these little strings are good. All right, next what you want to do is use the paper for the mane. And what we're going to do there is you want them to have a little bit up at the top and then a little bit at the bottom. So first we're going to put a little bit of glue, just one little streak down here like this, right where the mane needs to go. So what we're going to do here, well, can you hold his nose for me, please?
Yep.
Together, there we go. And then we'll just go ahead and place this on here. Try our best to get the mane to stay. All right. So what we're going to want to do next is put the bridle on him. So put it right very easily over his head because that mane would fall off really easy. And then you have it on there, right above the like that. And there you go. So that's the first step. That's the craft part of our activity. And we'll show you the rest in just a minute. Thank you.
On your mark, get set, go!
And now for Jot the Clown!
Hey! How exciting! Here comes Jot.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Thank you for visiting.
Here.
Let me see what your bag says.
Jot the Clown. That's who I am. I'm Jot.
So glad to see you, Jot.
And I'm so happy when I'm at Villa Maria. It just fills me with joy. And especially for Harvest Day, because I get to see so many little kids and big people that like balloons. And they also like silliness.
Oh.
That's my favorite thing. Being
So,
silly.
how long have you been making balloons?
Oh, gee. I don't know how long in people years, but in clown years, it's a long time.
So,
would you like a balloon?
oh, I would love a balloon.
Well, I have rainbow colors. Which color would you like?
Well, maybe, do you have pink?
I do. Oh, Can I surprise you?
Sure.
Okay.
I love surprises.
Good. Good. Here we go. Pump it almost to the end and tie a knot. Here's the head. Here's some ears. Here. That happens sometimes. So we'll start again.
That's a pretty nifty pump.
It's my favorite pump. You know, I think one of my favorite places is the farm at Villa Maria.
Oh.
Because there's so many nice people who work there, and there's so much green growing there, and flowers and vegetables, and the cows. Oh, I love the cows.
Do you get to go to the villa very often?
Especially for Harvest Day.
Oh.
Here's a little dog.
Oh, I would love a fluffy little dog. Thank you.
Oh, I can make a fluffier one.
Oh? Do you go places other than the villa?
Sometimes I go to birthday parties and play with the birthday people and guests.
What fun.
And sometimes I go to health fairs and play with the kids while Mom or Dad are getting checked.
Well, that sounds like you do some very good things for people.
I do. I think so. And look, this is why I do it.
Let me see that close up.
Come on and
What
see
does
it.
that say? Holy fools?
The holy fools do something foolish for Christ.
Oh.
And that's why I wear a smile face, too.
Nice smile.
Because I like to love people and make them happy.
Oh, these balloons are going to make me very happy. Well, I think it must be time to say goodbye.
Oh, it's so hard to say goodbye.
But maybe we'll see you next year?
I hope so.
Come to Harvest Day.
I will come to Harvest Day next year.
Goodbye.
Bye.
In person. So now we take you to Sister Jane Marie Goodlots and her staff.
Happy season of the harvest. I'm Sister Jane Marie Goodlots, and I serve as President and CEO of Villa Maria Education and Spirituality Center. And I would like to now introduce some of my colleagues.
I'm Sister Barbara O'Donnell, and I focus on earth spirituality and earth justice programs and initiatives.
I'm Sister Janet Burkhart, and I work with youth as well as farm-based environmental education programming.
I'm Sister Ardith Blake, and I serve as a spiritual director and coordinator of directed retreats and adult programming.
I'm Natalie Terry, and I serve as VMESC's Assistant Executive Director.
Here at VMESC, we provide educational and spiritual experiences in the unique environment of Villa Maria. We are committed to sharing this sacred space with all those who seek peace, tranquility, and renewal. In all we do, we strive to promote lifelong learning and growth through relationships with God, self, others, and earth. It is our hope that you will feel welcome. Welcome to attend our programs, to experience a retreat, or to bring a group for a meeting or an event. All are
Sisters of the Humility of Mary have tended to and been nourished by this holy ground since 1864. Nourishment of body and spirit is often experienced through God's gifts of beauty and diversity here on our farm, the woodlands, the pond, labyrinth, and much more. The mission of the sisters is strengthened as guests share and unite their energy with others and deepen relationships with God, each other, our ecosystems, and our expanding universe.
With our commitment to the land, we also continue to cultivate the child and nature connection. We offer farm-based environmental education, including field trips to see and experience a farm. We have several summer camps, including Grow Camp for young children, and that is rooted in gardening as well as growing in reverence for ourselves and the world. Our camp for older children is called REACH. It stands for Ready, Eager, Able Campers Help. REACH Camp for older children is rooted in nurturing a spirit of service, and it gives young people a chance to volunteer here on the farm. We would love for you and your family to join us in experiencing the land. We'd love to host your youth group or come to your school or community for a youth retreat or a special youth program.
We invite you to come visit for a personal retreat or with a group during which your journey and find inspiration. We offer opportunities for spiritual growth and renewal through directed and conference retreats, day programs which include a variety of mediums, and even virtual events.
As we move through the pandemic, we are working to create the safest and healthiest environment we can for all our guests and the community here at Villa Maria. We hope to see you at VMESC soon. Save the date for the Villa Maria-thon on June 5th, 2021, and visit our website at vmesc.org to see all of our upcoming events.
The Villa Shoppe offers a wide variety of fair trade items from all over the world. This enables the artisans to earn a fair wage for their work. You will notice items made from rolled paper, soda cans, soapstone, seeds, and beads. Let's take a closer look at some of the items available.
Welcome to the Villa Shoppe. We specialize in fair trade items, and right now I want to show you our fair trade jewelry. But I want to talk about what fair trade is. It's women working together to make a living for their family. So, and they come from countries like Haiti, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Mexico, Kenya, and India. Some of our jewelry here, I can give you an example. Some of what you're looking at now come from Africa, Mexico, Kenya, Indonesia, Guatemala, and other countries. Now I'd like to show you some of the purses that we have that come from countries. They are fair trade, and these purses come from an example of Ecuador, Africa, India, Cambodia, and Guatemala, and other countries. We also sell fair trade scarves, and a sample of where some of these scarves are made. They're from India, Guatemala, Vietnam, and Nepal. Just a sample of some of the children's items we carry. These are finger puppets, and they are made in Guatemala. We also have some metal art. You will see a gecko. Any metal work is done in Haiti. We have what's called seismic critters, and they're supposed to predict an earthquake coming. If the tail or the head would shake, that predicts an earthquake coming, and they are made in Mexico. We carry a variety of baskets. With the black and tan colored one is from Uganda, and the pink rimmed one is from Bangladesh. And we carry stone items. You can see a family of stone items in the back. We also have stone animals. There's an angel setting there, and we have stone hearts. All stone items are made in Kenya. I also have a wire-wrapped bird there, which is made in India. We have paper items. You can see the cross, and that is made in Vietnam, and that's made from rolled magazines. They're hanging on the cross. You can see some, their rosary that are made in Mexico, and those are made from palm, and they're weaved. The men slice them to make the palm real thin, and the women weave them into the beads. We have fair trade food items. You'll see we have teas and coffee, and we also have chocolates. We sell books. We sell just a sampling of what you will find in our Villa Shoppe when you come to visit us.
Down the hall from the Villa Shoppe, the Magnificat Chapel offers a contemporary setting for religious services. Built in 1964 and renovated in 1994-95, it offers a reflective atmosphere for religious settings. We have hosted many Christian denominations, including Lutheran, Presbyterian, Methodist, and Orthodox groups, to name a few. Apartment residents and our neighbors frequent our liturgical offerings. We pray for all those in need. The needs are tremendous, as Sister Toby said. But the sisters believe that now is filled with hope and promise.
Retreat, a walk in the woods with God, or you want to purchase flowers and produce from our farm, you too can be part of our extended community.
Learn more and keep us in touch by following us on Facebook and our website. Please share this video with a friend or two. We look forward to widening our circle. Again, from the Sisters of the Humility of Mary's Farm at Villa Maria, Pennsylvania, John and I say thanks for visiting. We look forward to seeing you in person next year. God bless everyone. Stay safe and be well.
Happy Harvest Day. Actually, this is our 21st annual. Our first virtual. Wish you could be here to continue on. Come see us.
Happy Harvest Day.
Go. Hi everybody, we miss you.
Happy Harvest Day! We wish you could be here and celebrate with us, but we have produce. Come to the farm. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for being part of it.
Today to join us on Harvest Day.
Harvest Day, everybody.
Happy Harvest Day from Kira.
Hey, everybody. Hi, happy Harvest Day.
Happy Harvest Day!
Enjoy yourselves this Harvest Day.
Happy Harvest Day, everyone. Just know that you need to maintain social distancing, wash your hands, and wear your mask. Mine's in my pocket.
Happy Harvest Day.
Good morning. Happy Harvest Day. Keep safe and happy.
Happy Harvest Day!
Happy Harvest Day!
Happy Harvest Day!
It's a wonderful day at Villa Maria. The sun is out and it's going to be Harvest Day soon.
Happy Harvest Day. So glad you could be with us. Me and my friend are here all the time, so come and see us when you can. Bye.
Happy Harvest Day, everybody.
Happy Harvest Day!
Wish you were here for this awesome day. Happy Harvest Day.
Come join us for a harvest full of fun.
Hey, happy Harvest Day! Can't wait till we see you again!
Happy Harvest Day. Enjoy yourself.
Love you all. Happy Harvest Day.
Happy Harvest Day. Greetings from the farm. Hope to see you in person next year.
Happy Harvest Day!
We thank you for participating with us in this virtual Harvest Day, our Harvest of Hope. We hope to see you in person next year. Bye-bye.